My situation over the 12 years that I've been here entertaining you on television. Welcome to Hot Topics, Sharina Hudson. Getting out of my car with my money. Good morning, Journey. She'll be almost I think she'll be 3 next month, don't you know? Good morning, Kelvin.
This is the reason everyone is still talking about Sharina Hudson, the woman who spent over a decade living off Wendy Williams' empire, only to watch every bit of it disappear the moment the money stopped flowing. Wendy Williams spent 12 years entertaining millions on television, turning her talk show into a household name and building a financial empire that seemed like it would never stop growing. But as her health declined and a guardianship took control of her affairs, 2 people who had been quietly feeding off that empire found themselves staring down a reality neither of them had prepared for. Kevin Hunter, Wendy's ex-husband and the man who managed her career, went completely silent the moment he understood he would not see a single dollar under her guardianship arrangement. The internet called it karma, and people cheered. But while Kevin's silence kept generating headlines, insiders say the one who is truly suffering is Sharina Hudson. 16 years of her life were built entirely around Wendy Williams and the millions her talk show produced. And now that the money train has stopped running, reports describe a woman who has fallen from luxury living all the way down to food stamps, buried under failed businesses and the wreckage of her attempts to step into Wendy's shoes. To understand how she got there, you have to go back to where this whole thing started. Sharina's path into Kevin Hunter's world came through Charlemagne Pagod, who made the introduction and immediately became a convenient cover story for what followed. Anytime Wendy appeared unexpectedly, Charlemagne would tell her that Sharina was his girl, and Wendy had no reason to question it. The whole arrangement operated on layers of deception from the very beginning. What makes this even harder to sit with is where Sharina was before Kevin found her, because she was living in her car. The moment Kevin stepped in, her entire life shifted almost overnight, with a condo, a steady allowance, cars, jewelry, and a lifestyle funded entirely by Wendy's earnings. Sharina went along with all of it without hesitation, staying quiet, staying hidden, and playing by Kevin's rules, because what he offered her was a life she had never had access to before. He also made her a promise about her career as a chef, telling her he had the connections to make something happen for her, and that promise alone kept her patient and loyal for years. What separated this situation from a typical affair was the level of audacity it reached over time. Back in 2007, Wendy and Kevin hosted a blackout party in New York, and Sharina was there, 21 years old, in the same room as Wendy, while Wendy had no idea who she was actually looking at. Kevin was not sneaking around in some distant city. He was moving his mistress through the same spaces as his wife, protected by a cover story and his own certainty that Wendy would never walk away from him. The only reason those party photos became public knowledge is because Sharina released them herself, directly to US Magazine. Most people in her position would have done everything possible to stay invisible, but Sharina wanted to be seen, and Kevin let it happen. According to reports, when Kevin needed more money than Wendy was giving him, he would take her belongings and sell them without asking to fund his and Sharina's lifestyle. A charity he reportedly ran was also allegedly used to funnel money and deliver gifts to Sharina. Vacations with Wendy even included Sharina traveling separately, with her own bodyguard arranged specifically to make sure the 2 women never crossed paths. Kevin's sister, Kimberlyn Hunter, has been open about what she knows, and her account makes clear that Wendy knew her husband had other women around, but she had no idea that woman was specifically Sharina Hudson. Not until photos of Kevin and Sharina vacationing together surfaced online. That moment broke everything open. The longer the arrangement stretched on, the more cracks started forming under the surface. Kevin had kept his promise to make Sharina comfortable, with money and gifts arriving consistently. But the career promises he made never materialized into anything real. Watching Wendy receive the attention, the fame, and the platform that Kevin had dangled in front of Sharina for years made the situation increasingly difficult to tolerate. And this is where it gets worse, because reports say Sharina became pregnant by Kevin multiple times during their time together, and that he pressured her to end each of those pregnancies to prevent the news from reaching Wendy and disrupting his access to her earnings. According to insiders, that pressure is what finally drained Sharina's patience. She started giving Kevin ultimatums, demanding that he go public with their relationship, and when he continued to refuse, she decided to stop waiting and take the story public herself. That decision, as it turned out, was the beginning of her unraveling. None of what Sharina expected from going public actually happened. The internet did not embrace her. People who had spent years watching Wendy, connecting with her, and rooting for her were not in the mood to extend any understanding to the woman who had been living secretly off her success for 16 years. Kevin publicly acknowledged his relationship with Sharina and discussed a personal transformation that included adopting a vegan lifestyle he credited with improving his health, but none of the attention that followed translated into any real spotlight for her. A clothing line she launched called Vish never gained meaningful traction, and none of her other business ventures took off the way she had hoped. Kimberlyn Hunter has a clear read on why Sharina believed it would go differently. Her theory is that Kevin spent years convincing Sharina that he was the one who built Wendy, that his management and connections were what made the whole empire possible, and that he could do the exact same thing for her. That belief gave Sharina the confidence to go public. The problem was that the belief was wrong, and going public is what exposed that most clearly. Once Kevin understood that Sharina was not going to become the next Wendy, that her businesses were not gaining ground, that the public was not warming up to her, and that no new money source was coming into view, he removed himself from her life with remarkable speed. Every photo of Sharina disappeared from his social media. The property they had shared together got sold. And just like that, he moved on, without apparent hesitation. The woman who once had cars, a paid condo, her own bodyguard on vacations, and a lifestyle covered entirely by someone else's hard work was suddenly navigating life alone. Reports say Sharina has shifted into selling properties in an attempt to keep herself and her daughter afloat. And her entire public image has changed from someone living softly to someone visibly scrambling. Her daughter, who insiders say is approaching 3 years old, is now being raised in circumstances that look nothing like the life Sharina spent 16 years assuming she would have. The bottom line of this entire story is one shared miscalculation. Kevin Hunter and Sharina Hudson both operated on the assumption that Wendy Williams was a permanent resource, that the platform would keep running, the money would keep coming, and the arrangement they had built would simply continue without end. Neither of them built anything of their own that could survive the day that stopped being true. Kimberlyn Hunter put it plainly when she said that Wendy made Wendy. She knew what she was doing, she was smart about her rise, and no one gets to take that away from her. Kevin's role was access and management, but the talent, the audience, and the platform were Wendy's entirely. The day that platform came down, Kevin's value disappeared, and everything he had constructed for Sharina collapsed right along with it. 16 years of attaching herself to someone else's success left Sharina with nothing of her own to fall back on when the connection was finally cut. That is the story. That is what it cost her. And it is a lesson she discovered far too late to change anything. Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know what you think about all of this. If you got something out of this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss what we cover next.